Today I thought I would mention a little or talk about another thing I have that kind of helps manage my life with dystonia, helps manage my dystonia. I make cheesecake. I've always made cheesecake, and it's always been like plain cheesecake with like fruit on the top. Is what I've done for years. People always say how much they love my cheesecake, but I just figure they're being nice. I don't know. Oh boy. Anyway, I made one for a friend of mine. She does horse rescue. Anyway, I'd done a couple for a bake sale, and she had mentioned something about, that's so good, and whatever. So I told her I would make her one. So she wanted peach on hers. So I made her peach cheesecake, and she just raved about it, and said it was the best she'd ever had, and this and that, and you should sell them, and I was like, that'd be cool if I could. I wish I could, and anyway, then I did another one for another friend of mine that I'd been wanting to do one for. They ended up putting fresh berries on. I just did the plain one, and they did the fresh berries on it. That looked really good. And I just do the store-bought. At that point, I was just doing the store-bought crust. Anyway, she raved about it, how good it was, and da-da-da-da-da. And so that was cool. And then she, actually, when it was coming, I don't know, it was probably a couple months before, like, Thanksgiving. And it was probably right after I had given her that cheesecake. I don't know. She said something about a pumpkin cheesecake. Have you ever done like a pumpkin cheesecake? I'm like, no, all I do is regular cheesecake. No. And she said something about trying one, and I told her I'll look at some recipes and check into it. Thinking, I don't know. My cheesecake is different because it's like 2 layers that I like do the bottom, bake it, fill it, and then I do a second layer of stuff and bake it, chill it. So when I look at recipes, any recipes I look at that sound good or might be good, I have to tweak to work with mine. So I have to do a little bit less ingredients in both layers. I just have to figure it out, and then I usually have to make 1 or 2 to get the recipe right. Anyway, the pumpkin cheesecake. The pumpkin made it hard because pumpkin is so liquidy, so that adds moisture to the cheesecake, and so it needed lots of tweaking. And the pumpkin cheesecake, I think, took me 4 times to try to get it to get it right. And I'm not crazy about pumpkin. Which was good because I had no interest in eating any of it. But I think that took me about 4 shots. And anyway, she ended up ordering 2 for Thanksgiving, and then I had a couple other people that wanted them for either Thanksgiving or Christmas. So I was like, okay, cool. And then after Thanksgiving, she texted me and she said it was the crack of Thanksgiving. It was my pumpkin cheesecake. So that was really cool. And then after that one, she challenged me to try a chocolate peppermint cheesecake. So I looked at some recipes and figured one out. And the first one I tried, the cheesecake itself turned out great. The cheesecake itself was delicious. The ganache took me a little time. And then the peppermint, because I wanted to top it with peppermint, but the peppermint condensates. So I had to do it. I had to, for orders for that one, I made it all and then sent the crushed peppermint along to garnish upon serving. Okay, you've had enough, buddy. So that's what I did for the chocolate peppermint. And it was really good. It was really, really good. That was a good one. And then I think I only had one order on that one, which was hers. And then for the next experimental cheesecake, it was my birthday, and I love chocolate and peanut butter. I usually get a chocolate peanut butter ice cream cake from Baskin Robbins. So for my next experiment on cheesecake, I did a chocolate and peanut butter cheesecake. And oh my gosh, it was yummy. At this point, I had started making my own crust and using a springform pan. So I did a chocolate. I did an Oreo peanut butter cookie crust. And then the first layer had like the peanut butter and stuff in it, and then the second layer had the chocolate, and then I topped it with like a ganache and then crushed by the fingers. Of course, there was other stuff, but I'm not going to divulge my secrets. But my husband said that I did a couple 6 inches for some friends for birthdays, and my husband said it looks like a big cookie. And it does. So that one's delicious. And I've had that one and the pumpkin have been the most popular thus far. But I'm continuing to and doing more experiments. I've done some more experiments with other flavors, but I will talk about those in another video because y'all don't want to hear so much about cheesecake probably. I have found with the crusts, I always thought in my head it was hard to do a crust for cheesecake. I don't know why, but you know what? That's probably the most therapeutic part about the cheesecake is making the crust. I think the whole process is therapeutic because it's like something can have the goal to do. I have a goal to make a cheesecake this week, so I do like a little. I do like the crust one day, and then the first layer another day, and then the second layer, and then I finish it off. And so it gives me a sense of a goal I finished. But the crust seems to be especially therapeutic, which is weird, I guess. So I will post a little video of these 3 flavors for y'all to see them. I started off doing just a 9-inch store-bought crust, and now I usually do the 8-inch spring-form pan for my cheesecakes. I'll talk about one more. The Oreo cheesecake is very popular. I made one of those one week just because I was stressed and needed some therapy, and then I parted it out. I sold pieces of it, so I made enough money to make back the money I put into ingredients for it. Which was fun. The only thing about that was I didn't even get a piece. I sold every piece. Actually, I sold 7 pieces, and then 1 piece I gave to my neighbor, and there was no piece left for me. But the Oreo cheesecake was one somebody had said, told my husband, she should try an Oreo cheesecake, and I thought, I don't know about that. But then the next week I was needing some therapy and to create, so I thought, I'm going to try an Oreo cheesecake. And it's been a favorite. And the thing about that one is it's so easy, it doesn't, it's so easy. I just added, you know, some crushed Oreos to each layer, so that, you know, it didn't require a lot of different tries making it. So that was cool. Anyway, I will put a video together of these 4 cheesecakes for y'all to see. And the one thing disappointing about making cheesecakes, because I follow a couple of Facebook pages for cheesecake, and I will never be able to decorate like a super fancy, you know, topped cheesecake, because, you know, the spasms in my shoulder make it harder to do stuff. I'm wearing a pipe, but you know, it's hard to get real creative. But I will post a video with all those cheesecakes. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.